Up next, I'm honored to introduce Gavin Necochea, the CEO of Pro Energy. Gavin exemplifies what it means to drive both business success and community impact. Under his leadership, Pro Energy has grown into a powerhouse in the utility industry, now with nearly 450 employees, and a strong reputation for fostering innovation, integrity, and growth. Gavin is not only a business leader, but also a dedicated mentor and coach, bringing the principles of teamwork and leadership into every aspect of his life, both professionally and personally. His influence extends well beyond the company walls, making a tangible difference in the community through his work and leadership style. This is why Shift DBS invited Gavin to share his story with us tonight. He truly embodies the leadership qualities that inspire others to grow and succeed. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming to the stage Gavin Necochea.
Wow, that was, I've never been introduced like that. That's amazing. I'm blown away. I think I should just leave. I don't know if I can do much more than that. Well, I'll try. As you know, my name is Gavin Necochea. I'm CEO of Pro Energy. As we honor the achievements of our suppliers and utility industry leaders tonight, it's important to remember these awards reflect more than just personal success. They symbolize a shared commitment to innovation, excellence, and an unwavering focus on safety. Each award tonight is a testament to that commitment. We're also here to reflect on the past that brought us here, the challenges we faced, the lessons we've learned, and the leadership experiences that guide us as we move forward. Sherry and Sydney asked me to share a part of my own story, believing that in sharing these insights, we can inspire others to continue driving our industry to new heights. To the award winners, congratulations. I guess that means Pro Energy too. Awesome. You have set the bar high, reminding us to always strive for excellence. I want to share two personal challenges that have profoundly shaped how I approach leadership. Like many of you, I've learned that leadership is much more than just the work we do, but it also comes from our life's journey. For me, two things have left a lasting impact on how I lead. First, coaching football and raising my youngest son, Carson. Coaching youth sports started when my older son, Cameron, was 5. After spending a season in the stands, watching the games, and more importantly, watching the unproductive practices unfold, I turned to my friend and said those famous last words, "We could do way better than this." That decision would lead me on a 12-year journey that shaped not only the way I coached, but also my approach to servant leadership. What started as a hobby quickly grew into a passion. I was completely obsessed. My wife thought I had lost my mind. Initially, I thought my role would be all about the X and O's, drawing up that perfect play. But it didn't take long to realize that the actual game plays were only a small piece of that puzzle. The real challenge and the real reward was in teaching and guiding both my staff and my kids. I found that being an effective leader means much more than scheming great plays, although I was pretty good at that too. It was about mentoring, fostering growth, and inspiring others. Over time, I began to see how seamlessly the lessons of coaching football translate into leadership in any organization. You cannot coach a football team alone. Just like leadership, it's a team effort. Each player on the field has a unique role and have to execute their roles in unison to be successful. Bill Belichick said it best, on a team, it's not the strength of the individual players, but the strength of the unit functioning together. A great coach recognizes the potential in others, whether it's assistant coaches or players. In football, you're working with a diverse team of rookies and seasoned vets, each requiring a different approach, motivation, and leadership style. You cannot micromanage every aspect, so you delegate, trust your team leads, and focus on the big picture. Sound familiar? One of the great lessons I learned as a coach and as a business owner is just how much of an impact you can have on someone's life. You might assume the most rewarding part are the decisions that were made on the field. Don't get me wrong, when you draw up a play and it gets executed, it feels really good. But when I look back, it's not those perfect calls that stick with me. It's when something went wrong and we persevered as a group and got together through it together. What lasts are the relationships built through those tough moments, the bonds that form when you and your team are going through adversity together. That leads me to one of my favorite stories. I coached a kid from the time he was about 5 up until he was about a senior. He was a talented player, but very challenged. He's very emotional, sometimes hard to motivate, the kind of kid that most coaches kind of shy away from. But I saw the potential in him. I knew he had some roadblocks to overcome, and I was determined to help him get there. So year by year, he got better and better. By the time he was a senior, he was a starter on both offense and defense, and a handful of colleges were looking at him. One of my favorite pregame traditions was walking around the team stretch lines. Some kids get super nervous in that time, and I always would just walk by, give them a slap on the hand, just give them a positive word, maybe a joke, just to lighten the mood and get them to, not be so nervous. Well, when I walked by this young man, he pulled me aside and he said, "Coach, we had to write an essay today about the 3 most influential people in my life, and you were one of them." In that moment, all the late nights of film review, all the game planning, all the tough talk with parents, all the hard practices, all the travel, it just faded away. It all melted. All I could say was, "Thank you so much, that means a lot." I turned because I didn't think seeing his coach weeping like a baby would get him ready for the game. But it was a powerful reminder of the responsibility and the reward for being a positive influence and a mentor. That moment has stayed with me as I've transitioned from coaching football to leading a company. Football taught me success isn't about me or a really good player. It's about bringing your team together, guiding them through challenges, and keeping them focused on the ultimate goal. Just like in football, leading a business means making decision after decision, each one building on the last. The pressure can feel overwhelming at times, but it's the relationships we build and the teams we lead that ultimately define our success. Not the perfect calls we make, but how we navigate through the imperfect ones together. This brings me to a crucial trait for leadership: humility. I learned this from my youngest son, Carson, and my wife, Leanna. Just before he turned 2, he was diagnosed with autism. Those words hit like a ton of bricks. We were overwhelmed with uncertainty and fear. Will he be okay? What will his future look like? We heard a lot of nevers and nos from the doctors at that time. Personally, the fear and uncertainty froze me. But my wife, Leanna, stepped up in a way that still humbles me to this day. She dove in head first, relentlessly searching for answers. Unfortunately, we were 20 years too early for ChatGPT, and autism treatments were really not as advanced as they are now. But her determination was inspiring. She even snuck into a doctors-only autism conference that was being held in San Diego. Her leadership during that time was a game changer for our family. We focused on Carson's strengths, always asking not what he couldn't do, but what he could do. Leanna's research led us to early intervention, which became the key that unlocked his progress. While we were guiding and fighting for him, Carson was teaching us, showing us resilience and how to turn obstacles into opportunities. Of course, there were plenty of setbacks, but also some funny moments. I remember when he was about 10, we asked if he wanted to play soccer. He politely declined, so we pressed him a little further and we said, "Well, don't you want a trophy?" And he kind of looked and he said, "Nah, I'll just buy one on the internet." Carson has such a unique way at looking at the world, and he's always found his way forward. He's about to turn 21 in a couple weeks, and while he's still undecided about that first beer, he told me it's gonna be a game time decision. Today, he works part-time, is an amazing digital artist, has a few close friends, and is working toward trying to get his driver's license. Things we were told could never happen. Our family's journey has taught me that leadership isn't about doing everything yourself. It's about having the humility to understand when someone else might be better suited to take the lead. True success comes from recognizing the strengths of your team and trusting them to shine when it's their moment. Through coaching football, raising my sons, being a husband, and leading a company, I've learned that patience and understanding are at the heart of an effective leader. Whether on the field, at home, in the office, true leadership means being in the trenches with your team, guiding and supporting them as they grow. This is what servant leadership is all about. Not about directing from above, but lifting others from within. Simon Sinek said it best: leadership is not about being in charge, but taking care of those in your charge. Each person brings their own strengths, challenges, potential, and it's our job to recognize and nurture that. When things don't click immediately, we adapt. Not everyone learns in the same way, and every situation presents its own hurdles. But by adjusting how we lead and connect, we can create an environment where everyone is empowered to do their best work. These values, empathy, flexibility, resilience, humility, they're not just my family's personal beliefs. They're the foundation of how we try to operate Pro Energy on a daily basis as we shape this positive, productive culture that we continue to try to strive to build. Before I get out of here tonight, I want to take a moment to acknowledge some of my personal heroes and those who have profoundly shaped my life and my approach to leadership. First, my parents, Ray and Linda, the source code of my work ethic, integrity, and empathy. The foundation you built stands strong today. My brother, Bryce, who was the first person to look up to me for leadership and guidance. And if you know my brother, Bryce, my first lesson in patience. To my football mentors, Charlie, Jesse, John, Craig, thank you for taking the time and giving of your time so freely. It was an honor and a privilege to coach with you. My uncles, Bob and Mitch Birch, and my father-in-law, Jerry Taylor, they showed me that entrepreneurship is not just a dream, but something within reach. Thank you for your continued guidance. And to my business partner, Warren James, building this vision together with you has been amazing. Your collaboration and drive have been instrumental in shaping our business, and I'm grateful to be on this journey with you. My sons, Cameron and Carson, you've changed my life in more ways than I can begin to express. Even as you have grown into adults and are chasing your own dreams, you've continued to give me the greatest gift of all, how to love without limits. Last but certainly not least, my wife, Leanna. She's been my rock, my closest confidant, my partner, and my best friend through every high and low. Her patience with my all-consuming passion for coaching and now entrepreneurship has been nothing short of extraordinary. She deserves the award for that. Her strength and dedication and unwavering support as the mother of our 2 children has been inspirational. Leanna, your love and your leadership don't just help anchor our family, they lift me higher than I could ever go alone. Thank you. In closing, I want to acknowledge the hard work, resilience, and commitment that each of you have brought to the table. We're pushing boundaries, setting new standards, and hopefully having some fun while we do it. I want to leave you with one more quote tonight. It's from the famous UCLA basketball coach, John Wooden. It's amazing how much can be accomplished if no one cares who gets the credit. That's the spirit we need as leaders. It's not about individual recognition. It's about lifting others up and working towards something greater together. Thank you for allowing me to share this night with you. It's been an honor.